The next race is the only New York district with an incumbent worth re-electing, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. One of the first Justice Democrats elected to Congress back in 2018, and one of the first modern-day grassroots campaigns to successfully win against a well-funded incumbent Democrat. Back in 2018, AOC won the Democratic Party's nomination with 56.7% of the primary vote, a difference of only 4,000 votes out of a little less than 30,000 total decided that election. In the general election, as a non-incumbent former bartender, working-class candidate, she won with an impressive 78.2% of the vote, despite the losing incumbent staying on the ballot as the Working Families Party candidate. Shame on you, Working Family Party, for allowing that. Shame. Joe Crowley was the number 3 Democrat in terms of seniority and fundraising in the House at that time. But money doesn't vote. This political newcomer out of nowhere beat him because of her progressive policy platform she communicated to voters and the hard work AOC and her campaign did to earn the trust of the voters. While AOC is not perfect, like every person, she has made some decisions that occasionally even I will find questionable. She is still the best candidate running in New York's 14th district, and one of the best, if not the best member we have in terms of popularity with the U.S. public. That is one of the reasons why it's not surprising seeing her lead in the 2028 presidential polling. As a quick aside, I would support her if she runs, and probably will run. I'm unsure of other progressive leaders we have that would consider running and be potentially successful. I know there will be several governors running, but none of them inspire me. And Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, don't even bother. It'll be a failed campaign. Just stay as governor. In terms of other people I would support, Nina Turner comes to mind if she would run. She's a former state senator from Ohio and helped Bernie Sanders with his presidential runs. She has similar policy positions, but less name recognition than AOC. My strategic advice to AOC is to run for Chuck Schumer's Senate seat in 2028, and she could potentially become the Senate Majority Leader if she chooses that path. That race I see as a guaranteed win for her, while I am not convinced AOC could win a presidential primary. But she may also be the left's best choice. When it's time, it will be her decision to make, and either option still leaves the question of who would then fill her seat in the 14th district. But that is still 2 years away, and who knows if we'll still even have a society by then. For now, voters in the 14th district keep electing AOC to Congress. Assuming Democrats do take back the House in 26, then I have 2 suggestions for who should become Speaker of the House. And no, neither of them is Hakeem Jeffries. Either AOC or Ro Khanna. Those are probably the 2 best leaders we have in the House, but we'll need far more progressives elected to give them the support to make that happen. Of the approved groups, AOC is endorsed by only 3 of the 10, which are Justice Democrats, Our Revolution, and the Working Families Party, which I'm glad they now support AOC, and hope more groups decide to as well. While not endorsed by Track AIPAC, AOC does have a clean record as she doesn't accept any corporate PAC money. I can only assume she's not endorsed by Track AIPAC, and PELPAC too for that matter, because of her mixed record on sending money and weapons to Israel on occasions, decisions that I also don't agree with. But I don't know her full voting history, but if memory is correct, it's mixed. Again, she is not an incumbent with a perfect record, which of course is preferable, but doesn't exist. I would also add that as she does pursue her path for the presidency, she needs to continue improving her leadership abilities if that's what she wants to do. That means breaking more with the establishment, stop playing nicely with them. They don't give you anything in return. When she was asked about Choikat Chakrabarty's race in California's 11th district, it was incredibly disappointing listening to her weak-ass response and not endorsing Choikat. Back in 2018, he had helped AOC get into office and became her chief of staff. He's endorsed by Justice Democrats, a group that AOC, again, was an original candidate of and is still a member of. His primary in California is happening on June 2nd, which hasn't happened yet at the time of this recording, so I don't know what the results will be yet. But I can only hope he wins, and I can't stress enough how disappointing AOC's non-endorsement in that race was. If AOC wants to be the leader of the progressive movement that Bernie has been building up since his 2016 run, that means doing more confrontational actions that challenge the establishment and supporting more progressive challengers against incumbents, just like how AOC got into office back in 2018. That is the only way we are going to get progressive legislation passed and improve lives. I trust the voters in New York's 14th district will re-elect AOC. I just hope we can continue to trust AOC to make the correct policy and political decisions.